So let's talk about diuretics, specifically diuretic foods. Now, the thing to keep in mind with diuretics are firstly, what are diuretics? These are foods or substances or medications that help your body to release excessive fluid. And that is needed in things in conditions like edema or high blood pressure. And it can be very useful, but there are downsides to it to keep in mind. So you need to be careful when using diuretics, even if it's the foods. See, when you lose excessive fluid from the body, you also lose certain nutrients. Most importantly, you lose electrolytes. That's going to be potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium. Now, if the purpose of taking diuretics is because your blood pressure is high and then you go and lose electrolytes, you're going to put your heart in a much worse condition because your heart is dependent on magnesium and potassium and even sodium and calcium. All the electrical activity is dependent on that. Uh, your the same way that your muscles can cramp up, like if you've ever had cramping in the calf muscles, well, the same thing happens to the heart. Now, what do you do when you have cramping in those muscles? You use electrolytes like potassium or magnesium. Same thing goes for the heart. The heart is also a muscle. There's three types of muscles in the body: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. They're all dependent on the same nutrients. Now, that's the first thing to keep in mind. Now, there's different types of diuretics out there. If you're talking about the pharmaceuticals, you've got loop-acting diuretics, thiazide diuretics. You got potassium sparing diuretics. Now, if you're thinking those will actually spare you of certain the depletion of certain nutrients, well, the thing is those potassium sparing diuretics are actually much less effective than the other diuretics. So most people will want to turn to foods, especially if they know that foods can have a much pretty similar effect. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the foods that can help you to get rid of excessive fluid from the body, reduce your blood pressure, or if it's edema that you're trying to get under control, help you with that. So let's start with lemons and limes. So lemons and limes are mostly known for their taste. Some people take lemon water in the morning as a general health tonic to improve their digestion. It has many health benefits. Both of these lemons and limes contain citric acid. In addition to being powerful diuretics, they contain citric acid, which breaks down calcium oxalates, so it can help you for problems like kidney stones. So if you are at risk for kidney stones, you've had them in the past, or you're treating them at the moment, this can help you. In addition to that, um, lemons and limes contain vitamin C, which is great for free radicals and the antioxidant potential of it. And so, yeah, lemons and limes, great tool, also really good for your digestion. Next, let's talk about green tea. Now, green tea is very well known for its health benefits. It's been used for thousands of years in Chinese medicine and by the Chinese people in general and other cultures as well. Now, green tea has been studied extensively in clinical research and it has a lot of benefits. Now, when I'm talking about green tea, I'm talking about actual green tea that you've prepared at home where you've either used a tea bag or whatever and added boiling, well, you don't want to use boiling water, but close to boiling water. And I'm not talking about the supplements. So the reason why is I don't actually advise anyone to use the supplements because there have been a few cases of adverse effects with just a handful of people, but still. The point of my videos is to give you solutions that are safe and useful. And so, if there's something out there that's potentially bad, I have to let you know. And so, when it comes to green tea itself, the benefits are outstanding. Really good for lowering blood sugar. I wrote about it in my book, Healing Diabetes Naturally. um, really good for precancer. Now, it was used in a clinical trial on patients with precancerous lesions in their mouth, the oral cavity, oral cancer, and it was actually able to reverse many of the lesions by inhibiting a process known as angiogenesis, which is basically how tumors get their circulation, their blood supply. So green tea is great for that. Really good for boosting your metabolism. It also contains caffeine, so it can give you energy and many, many other benefits in addition to being a diuretic. Next on this list is watermelon. Watermelon is probably one of my favorites on this list due to the fact that apart from being a diuretic, it also contains an amino acid known as L-arginine, which boosts your circulation. So if the purpose of taking diuretics is to improve your blood pressure, then this is going to have many benefits in addition to just getting rid of excessive fluid. It's also going to actually reduce your blood pressure by increasing nitric oxide. L-arginine it plays a central role in the release of nitric oxide in the body, which is actually really good for lowering your blood pressure. In addition to that, it contains a nutrient called lycopene. It's actually a vitamin-like substance, and lycopene is used for the prostate gland, for benign prostate hyperplasia. And it's been used in clinical research for that. Watermelon contains a good amount of it. So, watermelon has other benefits as well. Next is cilantro, probably the most powerful one on here. Not my favorite because I like the way watermelon tastes more than cilantro. Now, cilantro is a powerful, powerful diuretic. In fact, you can take, if you take a handful of this and add it to a smoothie, and let's say you add some celery to it, yeah, you're going to reduce a considerable amount of fluid from your body and lower your blood pressure. Now, the interesting about thing about cilantro is that it actually helps to bind to and expel heavy metals from the body. So that's going to be things like mercury and lead and even aluminum. Now, those are things that we get into our system from many sources. There's so many sources of heavy metals out there. Not just a lot of people these days want to talk about vaccines, but it's not just in those. It's also if you consume fish, especially canned fish, and if you eat a lot of tuna, specifically tuna, then yes, you are at risk for increasing the amount of heavy metals in your body. There are also heavy metals found in other foods. It's used for ripening certain fruits. I'm not sure how true the story is. I read about it a long time ago, about using people using mercury to ripen mangoes. And so if I can find that study, I'll post in the description. There's a lot of sources of heavy metals in our environment that we have to be careful of, and cilantro can help us to fight that. And you find heavy metal toxicity in many conditions. There's aluminum found in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. Aluminum is also associated with heavy metals in general are associated with diabetes. So it's really important to get that out of your system, and cilantro can help you with that. It's a powerful diuretic. Next is asparagus, my least favorite on this list, just because of the taste. Um, Asparagus, another powerful, powerful diuretic, really rich in certain nutrients like vitamin K and folate, and it's also rich in antioxidants. Really, really good for your health. But like I said, I don't like the way it tastes. Next is horsetail. Now, horsetail is a medicinal herb that is known for its benefits for the hair. Now, it contains a lot of silica, which is a nutrient that is responsible for your hair, your skin, your nails, many other things, and highly, highly useful for improving your hair, but also it's a powerful diuretic. Now, in traditional medicine, it was used for stopping bleeding. So, for like women who have heavy periods, it's useful for that. Not too much clinical research on that, but when it comes to its diuretic benefits, there have been clinical trials. Next is dandelion. Now, you've probably seen these growing around your garden, or if you've been anywhere that has grass, you've probably seen dandelion. Um, Most people think of it as a weed. Actually, it's very, very well studied. A lot of benefits, tons of health benefits. And the dandelion is it's a really powerful diuretic. It's also really good for your kidneys and your liver. And the exudate that actually comes out of it, the milky substance, is used in traditional medicine for treating skin tags and viral warts and other things as well. So dandelion is another strong diuretic. Last but not least is celery. Now, celery, again, rich in vitamin K, just like asparagus, also rich in folate, just like asparagus. Not a ton of it, but it does have quite a bit. It also has trace amounts of other minerals and nutrients, rich in antioxidants and a powerful diuretic. So I often like to combine celery and cilantro, as I mentioned earlier, with a little bit of lemon or lime. And that combination, excuse me, is a really good diuretic. So let's say you one of those people who like to have celery juice in the morning. If you have celery juice in the morning, add cilantro and add at least one lemon. Squeeze a lemon in and take a handful of cilantro, and you will find that you have to urinate more And if you have a blood pressure problem, check your blood pressure, see how it works. Do this for a few days and see how it works. So these are a few powerful diuretics. Make sure to always keep your electrolytes up when taking these. I'll post a link in the description to an electrolyte mix that I like, that I personally use. And yeah, that's my take on diuretic foods. I hope this information has helped you, and I will see you in the next video.